Hey y'all, I'm back with another video and today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious chicken parmesan spaghetti. You heard me right. Make sure you watch to the end so you don't miss a single important detail. Let's get started, y'all. First thing we're going to do is fill up a pot with some water about halfway. Then I'm going to sprinkle in some salt to give the noodles a little flavor. And I've preheated my oven to 425 degrees. In my bowl I've got a pound of ground chicken and I'm adding in 2 teaspoons of steak seasoning, 1 teaspoon of parsley, 1 egg, and I'll be using a little less than a half a cup of breadcrumbs. This is important. It's basically 3/4 of a half of a cup, okay? Not the full thing. And we're gonna use that same amount of grated Parmesan cheese. And I like to mix my ingredients as I go. You can pour everything in and then mix it up. It's totally up to you, but it's gonna be good regardless. I'm going to be shredding about 1/4 of a cup of mozzarella cheese. Now I am saying about or approximately because I know what I need, so I'll just pour that in. But I do try to give y'all precise measurements as much as possible. Once I've shredded enough cheese, I'm going to take this and add it to my bowl, then combine everything. And I'm going to come back and heat it with some of that olive oil. Now this is a healthy tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm just going to mix everything together. At this point the water is boiling, so I'm going to grab my noodles and drop them in. It's time to start forming the chicken parmesan mixture into meatballs. The size of the meatballs is totally up to you. I prefer them to be about 1 inch in length, so that's a nice size for me. Not too big but not too small, but if you want them things to weigh down the plate, you have at it. I'm just going to roll these meatballs, making them as close to the same size as possible because we want them to be done at the same time. There is no need to spray your dish prior to adding the meatballs in. They do pull away from the dish without breaking apart. Once I've formed all of the meatballs that I can, I'm going to take this dish and place it in the oven for 15 minutes. After that 15 minutes time, I typically do check my meatballs just to make sure that it's cooked all the way through, which for this size 15 minutes works well. This of course is going to depend on how big you make your meatballs, so make sure that you check them, and if of course it looks like it's a little bit raw, put them back in the oven for a few minutes until they're done. With our meatballs baking, we can start on our sauce, so I'm going to dice up some onion. This is a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. To this I'm going to add 1/2 teaspoon of basil leaves, some kosher salt, which is about 1/2 teaspoon to start. You can always add more if you feel you need it. I added in some pepper, approximately 1/4 teaspoon, and this is 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now y'all, yes, this provides heat, however this is not hot. If you're scared, then start with 1/4 teaspoon, and after it simmers for a little while, maybe 10 minutes or so, see if you can handle more. I diced more onion than needed, so I'm going to add about half of what I diced, which is going to be about 1/4 cup. This is 2 tablespoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of parsley, and yes, sugar y'all. This really balances out the flavors. I added in about 1/2 tablespoon, and I'm just going to mix this together and add it back to the heat. Please add a lid as this will splash all over the place. My beautiful meatballs are now ready. Y'all hear that sizzle? I'm going to allow my flavors and my sauce to blend for about 10 to 15 minutes prior to adding in the meatballs. The sauce is ready for the meatballs. Now this is not an add the meatballs, toss and serve. No sir, no ma'am. Once the meatballs are in, I'm going to allow everything to simmer together for an additional 15 minutes. It's time to plate everything. Now you can pair this with some garlic bread or just eat it alone. Either way, you won't be disappointed. A big thank you to all of my subscribers. I appreciate you so much. And of course, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button and make sure you check back with me because I'm always serving up something good. I'll see y'all in the next video.